propelled him to the top.
His up-and-down season has provided some unusual circumstances, yet he's only 78 points behind Ernie. Frustrations have been evident in the Valvoline team. Mark Martin has been literally hanging on to fourth in points. The Penske South team of Rusty Wallace has displayed an edge on the track and in the pits. On occasion, they have found themselves behind a wall. Twice they failed to finish. Yet this team has most victories, 5, and Wallace seeks his 4th consecutive today. But in his bid for a second championship, one hurdle looms large. Daytona is next. ESPN, the world's leader in motorsports coverage, welcomes you live to Daytona International Speedway for the Pepsi 400. 4th of July weekend brings mostly cloudy skies to Daytona. The temperature is 85 degrees, and there is a 70% chance of rain, hopefully later this afternoon. We've reached the halfway point of the NASCAR Winston Cup season, and here are the point standings. Ernie Irvan with a 78-point advantage on Dale Earnhardt. Ken Schrader in 5th position is only 6 points out of 4th. The second 5 led by Morgan Shepherd, but Michael Waltrip, who is currently in 8th, has come from a season low of 22nd in the point standings. Hi, everybody. I'm Bob Jenkins. Happy 4th of July weekend, and thank you for joining us for our annual Breakfast at Daytona and the running of the Pepsi 400. You know, there have been win streaks in the past. Harry Gant had a winning streak a couple of years ago. Mark Martin had one last year. This year, it's Rusty Wallace. He is going for his 4th consecutive win here today. But Daytona has not been a place that has been good to Rusty Wallace. He has never won here. As a matter of fact, his best finish has been a 7th. There are lots of factors when you come to Daytona in July, including the heat. With more on that, here's Dr. Jerry Punch.
Thank you, Bob, and hello, everyone. You know, oppressive heat is the enemy of every race driver, and here at Daytona, shortly after 11 o'clock, let me show you, under the sweltering sun, it is right now 133 degrees, and we have not fired the engines or run a single lap of yet. Now, arguably, no driver adapts better to the hot, slippery race conditions than the man beside me. Last year's winner and today's pole sitter, Dale Earnhardt. But he remembers, only twice in the history of this race, some 35 years, has it ever been won from the pole. The last one to do it, Kel Yarborough, way back in 1981. And also some anxious moments this morning. Yesterday, they had an engine come apart in the final practice. Didn't get to run the final practice. They scrambled to put the car together, put the engine in this morning, and they have a lot of questions to be answered today. For more, let's go upstairs to Ned and Vinny.
Well, Jerry, the heat that you were talking about makes this race in July totally different from the Daytona 500 that's run here in February. Handling becomes a key factor here in July because the heat makes the racetrack very slick. They say when you come here in Daytona, you want about 60% horsepower and about 40% handling. Well, it's reversed when you come here in July, perhaps 60% handling and 40% horsepower.
As a matter of fact, in the 70s, some of the General Motors teams would run an Oldsmobile 442 in February. In July, they would come and run a Monte Carlo, 2 or 3 miles an hour slower than the Oldsmobile, but they had to get that car to handle. The Monte Carlo, it looked like a rolling shoebox, but it would go through the corners, and that's the key.
I even brought a short track car here back in the early 60s, so that's how much handling does count here during the July race. Well, there's one fellow who has won this race in the past that has a starting position way back in the field, and John is sort of puzzling.
Yes, it is, Ned. You look at Bill Elliott starting shotgun on the field, 43rd. What about his teammate? Usually teammates have similar cars, similar engines, but Elliott's teammate, Jimmy Spencer, starting 3rd. In fact, first-round qualifying, he was some 6 miles an hour faster than Bill Elliott. Junior Johnson owns both teams. And, Junior, what is the difference between Bill Elliott's car and Jimmy Spencer's car?
Well, Spencer's car had been built to replace the one he had here in Daytona in February. And we changed the car around a little bit, and I think it, runs through the corners freer, and that makes it run a little quicker. But when Bill qualified the other day, evidently they left a plug wire or something loose on the car because it just didn't come up to speed. It's like 300 RPMs off from what he'd been running during his practice. So I think he'll be running a lot better today and probably be in the hunt all day long. But they're similar cars, but Spencer's is a later version of that type car.
All right, well, thank you very much. Now, these guys aren't really worried, the crew I'm talking about, because, Bob, back in 1988, Bill Elliott started dead last right here for this race. He came back to win it.
As a matter of fact, last year, Kenny Schrader had a bad starting position. He came on to finish in third position. The cars are on the track, and the start of the Pepsi 400 is just moments away. We're glad you could join us.